you that in just 8 minutes, you could rewire your brain to feel 50% happier. And no, this isn't some woo-woo self-help fluff. This is actually backed by real science. Most people think that happiness is something that just happens to them. Like you either win the generic lottery or you don't. But research shows that you have way more control over your happiness than you may think. So if you're watching this now, congratulations, because you're already ahead of 90% of people who will never take action to improve their mindset. So in the next 8 minutes, we are going to walk through 6 scientifically proven strategies to shift your mindset, take control of your life, and rewire your brain for happiness. These aren't just theories, they are practical, actionable, and they work fast. Especially strategy number 3, because it's something that 90% of Olympic athletes use to get ready for their competitions and is extremely simple to apply. Okay, I only have 8 minutes, so these are gonna be rapid fire style, and I promise to make a video more in depth of the ones you just want to learn more about. So just let me know in the comments which ones. Let's jump right in. Strategy number 1 is by far the most important because it will drive all others. And yet, it's also where most people stay stuck because so many of us walk around with the feeling that no matter what we do, things never seem to go our way and the world feels like it's against us. But here's the trap with this mindset. The more you delegate your happiness to the outside circumstances, instead of realizing that it starts from within, the less likely it becomes that you actually will experience true happiness. Which is why strategy number 1 is developing a full ownership mentality. Studies show that people who take full responsibility for their outcomes report up to 40% higher life satisfaction than those who just blame external factors. So here's how to apply this in your life. When something goes wrong, allow yourself to mourn the loss of that, but then ask yourself the following questions. Honestly, how did I contribute to this? What can I do differently next time? What is in my control at this exact moment? Even if it isn't your fault, taking ownership of your response puts you back in the driver's seat. And while this shifting mindset is the foundation of everything else, the next strategy is what proves to your brain that you are in control of your happiness, one small win at a time. Have you ever set a big, ambitious goal like a New Year's resolution and started imagining how perfect your life would be and how much happier you'll become after you finally achieve that goal? I've been there, I've done that, and I came back with a picture to prove it happened. But with so many messages of before and after and makeover transformations online, it's so easy to assume that getting happier comes from achieving massive milestones, getting that job, starting a new relationship, going on that dream vacation. And while yes, those things do tend to make us feel happier temporarily, science actually says that the secret to rewire our brains for long-term happiness comes from tiny daily wins. There is a theory that I'm completely obsessed with because it completely changed my life and it deserves to have its own video one day that is called the self-efficacy theory by psychologist Albert Bandura. It suggests that when individuals accomplish small manageable goals, they build confidence in their ability to influence outcomes and do hard things. Neuroscience also shows that every time you complete a small goal, your brain releases dopamine, a feel-good chemical that reinforces motivation. Here's how to apply this in your life. When thinking about your daily schedule and habits you want to build, think of turning them into tiny, winnable goals. For example, reading every day becomes reading 2 pages each morning. Exercising more becomes a 5-minute walk before leaving for work, and so it goes. The seemingly small wins add up fast. But even with daily wins, there is one more trick that takes happiness to the next level. And it's something most high-performer athletes are already doing. What if I told you that playing make-believe, but like a grown-up version, with your eyes closed, could actually up your chances to get absolutely anything in life by 50%? Would you do it? Well, I hope you say yes, because this little trick is our strategy number 3, making visualization a daily habit. Neuroscientific research shows that visualizing yourself succeeding activates the same brain regions as actually performing the task, strengthening motivation and internal control. Beyond that, a 2009 study found that people who imagined themselves successfully completing a task were more likely to perform well in reality. And top athletes like Michael Phelps, LeBron James, and even Simone Biles have been using this technique for years. Some people even call it the mental edge. Here's how to apply this in your life. Start a quick morning visualization routine even before leaving the bed. For just 30 seconds, picture yourself owning your day. See yourself making confident decisions, overcoming challenges, and stepping into your best self. And although visualization is powerful, there is one major mistake that can completely block your progress without you even realizing it. Let's talking about the habit that quietly extinguishes happiness and how to stop. Do you know what is the fastest way to to sabotage your own happiness? Making excuses. And I get it. Excuses feel safe because they protect us from failure. But in reality, they are the number one thing holding us back from taking real control of our lives. Have you ever heard of the attribution theory? Well, it's a theory created by a psychologist named Fritz Heider in the 1950s, and it suggests that people who blame external factors for failures, they feel less motivated to improve compared to those who attribute failures to changeable personal factors. So basically, the more excuses you find, the less likely you will change something. Seems pretty common sense, right? But get this. Studies also show that people who remove excuses experience up to 45% more motivation to go out and change the stuff that's bothering them. Here's how to apply this in your life. For the next 7 days, challenge yourself to observe when you're making excuses and then use those moments to flip the same excuses into a solution. For example, I don't have time to work out. Well, what if you do 10 squats after dinner? I don't have time to clean the kitchen. Well, what if you set a 5-minute timer to unload the dishwasher every night? Now, come closer first. Even if you stop making excuses, there is one more game-changing factor that determines whether you actually follow through or not. And it has everything to do with the people around you. Have you ever noticed how you start using the same phrases as your friends or craving pizza just because someone in your group mentioned? It may sound silly, but that's because we absorb the habits, thoughts, and even the mindset of the people around us. So if your circle is full of complainers, then guess what? You are gonna start seeing the world the same way and being a little complaining Nancy. But hang out with people who take charge of their lives, and suddenly you're the one leveling up. And that's strategy number 5, baby. Oh my gosh, you're almost there. Okay, surround yourself with the right people. Research on social learning theory shows that we unconsciously absorb the habits and thought patterns of those around us, being them good or bad. So look around the people you spend the most time with online and offline. Does their life reflect the type of life you want to live? At least some part of it? Here's how you apply this in your life. Make a list of the 6 people you are the closest to, and honestly ask yourself, based on the goals that I want to achieve and the life I want to lead, do I need to spend more or less time with them? And if you realize that you might be basically without anyone to hang out with, well, start thinking about where you can find people who will inspire you to be better, and then go after them. But on a weird stalkery way, please. And here's the thing, even when you upgrade a circle, life will throw curveballs at you. The trick isn't avoiding challenges, but knowing how to flip them into opportunities, which is exactly what we talk about next. Let's be real, life happens. The question isn't if you will face setbacks, but how you will respond to them. And your response, well, that's what determines your happiness. So instead of seeing challenges as roadblocks, what if you treated them as a custom-built training programs designed to make you stronger? That's exactly how high performers see life, and it changes everything. Let's talk about cognitive reappraisal, because it's an emotional regulation strategy that focusing on changing the way we think about the stuff that stresses us out. So basically, instead of seeing them as threats, you start seeing them as challenges. And this works especially well if you are a competitive person. Translation: how you see a challenge determines how you respond to it. This works because research has found that people who view stress as something they could manage rather than something that controlled them had lower cortisol levels than being stressed and higher resilience. Here's how to apply this in your life. When you feel stuck, ask, what can I control in this situation? What's the smallest action I can take right now? And how would a solution-focused person respond? We made it! Oh my gosh, I can breathe now. Okay, we made it. Now you've got the tools to shift your mindset and take control of your happiness. But none of this matters if you don't put them into action. So let's lock this in. The 6 scientifically proven strategies to rewire your brain to become 50% happier are: take full ownership of your life, stack small wins daily, make visualization a daily habit, flip excuses into solutions, upgrade your environment, reframe challenges into opportunity. By stacking all the strategies, you are rewiring your entire mindset to feel unstoppable. Which of those shifts are you going to start today? Please let me know in the comments. And if you're serious about leveling up your mindset, you will wanna watch my video on how to build your dream life on autopilot. Because what I teach there, plus what we just learned here, seriously, you will be unrecognizable in 3 months. 3 months from now, another person. I love spending time with you today. Thank you so much for that. I'll see you so soon. Ciao, ciao.